Going on, guys? This is Thrifty with Thrifty PS Gamer Reviews. Tonight, you have stumbled into Thrifty's Gaming News Podcast. This is a supposed to be weekly show where we just discuss the hottest topics in gaming news. We talk about PlayStation, talk about Xbox, talk about Sony, talk about Microsoft. Don't really talk about the red guy because they like to demonetize videos, and so I just choose to stay away from them. And because knowing my luck, one of the videos I mentioned them in would be the one that blew up and it would get demonetized, and I'd go back down to where I am now. Guys, if you've been here before, you know that I take the first few seconds to go ahead and get this shared out, put it on the social medias, on the discords that allow me to do it. If you are watching this afterwards, a lot of my UK guys, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have been awesome, and it's always good seeing y'all's comments. I really appreciate it. With that, tonight we will be discussing ABK because God, I have to. And I say I have to because of the YouTube thingy and the Twitter thingy and the way algorithms work and all that crap. Like, if it's not in the title, if it's not in the tagline right now, and you're a gaming news show, well, you don't really get pushed at all. And so it's in there. We're going to hit on it. We're going to talk about it a little bit. But tonight's show is mainly focused on Ubisoft, Gamepass Core, which they're going to go ahead and use that Redfall tampon brand to shove it up the core. And that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how it's genius on one hand and really screwy towards the gamer on the other, for both the same reasons, surprisingly. And after that, we will be talking about Final Fantasy. No, I'm just kidding. We're not talking about Final Fantasy this week. We will be talking about Sony, the games that came out this month on PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. And let me pull up my notes because I'm trying to do like 15 things at once. Tell you what, let me do what I said I was going to do and get this passed out, and then I can go over the topics. Gamepass Core. Join us. Okay. And there is that. Sorry, guys. I tried to do two things at once, and I ended up confusing myself. So, which is not hard. I've had a heck of a day today. Uh, it's actually very easy. When the places you go are 120, 130, 145 degrees, it wears on you just a bit. If you're in here and waiting on me to get started, really cool thing you could do is hit that like button, share this out. The rest of it will be a lot more professional than this. So, well, I say a lot. There won't be as many mess ups. And so that is not an app or a Discord that I am okay to do this on. This one is. You got to be careful. Not everybody lets you put your stuff on the Discord. Some folks are really cool and they let you, and that's awesome, and there's nothing that makes you ever question if the person who runs the Discord is going to get upset. And then there's some that you're like, man, if I put this there, I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, if people see this, I'm gonna get soup totes in trouble. It's about to be real bad. And so just wanted to make sure I don't screw this up. All right, cool. So that's all shared out. Yay! Hip hip hooray! And okay, so tonight we're going to discuss Last of Us Part 2, a remaster. Why in the hell do we need a remaster? We'll talk about that. PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium lineups just came out. Games with Gold is going away. Game Pass Core is coming in. Uh, and then PlayStation Showcase. Those rumors are back, so we're going to discuss those. Assassin's Creed looks like it might be done away with. And the ABK deal has been extended until October. Dear God, I want this over. With that, tonight, RP Gaming on here, and when he's able to join, we will have Toolman coming through. Um, he said he would try to hop on, so if he does, great. If not, no harm, no foul. Uh, Still love the fact that he was my 100th and my 200th subscriber. So, anyways, let's go ahead and dive on in. RP, how the heck are you, man?
I'm not doing too bad. How about yourself?
I am okay. I'm trying to get over the same sickness I had last week. But outside of that, I'm great. I'm about to wrap up Final Fantasy. Uh, and this, yeah, it's a lot. I'm thinking about doing its own podcast, like have a few people on who want to discuss like the game, the ending, the story, make it like a heavy spoiler night, just discuss like favorite parts of the game, things you thought they could have done better, things you thought that every other game should do like they did because they nailed it, like, you know, just all of that. So I may get one of those set up, might do it on like a Sunday night or something like that. Or anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. What game are you playing? I saw that you had several on your played recently list.
Yeah, I've been messing with a couple different games. Couple games in the PlayStation Extra, testing out a couple of just random ones there. But my main here has been No Man's Sky. I've been trying to get back into that.
No Man's Sky. So what is there a story in No Man's Sky?
A little bit, not one that I can really quite piece together yet.
Okay.
I'm just playing it more for the space combat and exploring and mining and stuff. So
Okay. So, you know what? This is going to bring me into one of the topics that was supposed to be like a cutting room floor type thing. Like if we had time, we'd talk about it. But so Starfield is the next big exclusive coming out. Like it's the next big title. There's a lot of things that we're like looking forward to, but the next big title is Starfield. Uh, and so here here's my question, because I know you are wanting to play it. I know you've mentioned before that you're really excited about it, and that's cool. I'm not hating, whatever. I like a lot of crappy movies that nobody else likes, so if somebody else likes a really crappy game that nobody else likes or that is not up my alley, whatever. Fine. But I have seen so much about that game and its expansive exploration. It's galaxies far, far away. It's stars and skies and planets and all this other stuff. And there's going to be so much to do and see. And you can collect everything from sandwiches to ship parts to whatever. Like, and that's awesome. Those sound like wonderful additional mechanics to a game. What the fuck is the story? Like, what's the, what? Why are you in Starfield? Like, what? Help me. What am I missing? Is there a story, or is it just, hey, here's
there
your
is a
sandbox?
story from what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've seen in the articles and the videos. So there's something to do with some magical ring. So let's just, for all intents and say, it's like a halo ring. But it's like this artifact, is what they're calling it. It's the artifact, not a halo ring, but artifact. The main story focuses around that, and I'm guessing that you're going to have to find different parts of this ring throughout your story, and I don't know how long it is. I want to say roughly about 40 hours. But that's going to be your main focus, and you're going to have your side missions and whatnot. So basically, like Fallout 4 was all about, finding your son and finding your son's kidnapper. The artifact is the main story for Starfield.
And what's it supposed to do? Like, does it like what's the artifact do?
I have no clue.
Does anybody know, or did they say, hey, you're going to be chasing this artifact, and that's going to be enough to get you in a little world?
They've said very little about the story.
That's what I thought, because they don't have one. Okay, cool. That nailed that to the wall. So that's the reason. I think, because somebody challenged me a while back, like, about my hatred for games as a service and multiplayer onlines and all this other stuff, right? They challenged me because I hate those games. But I don't necessarily hate them because he was like, so he goes, man, what if they made a game out of like your favorite genre? I said, okay, like a just a action cut 'em up type of style game, like a God of War style, in combat at least. And he said, yeah, let's say they did that, but there's a story, there's campaigns, and you can do it with your friends. And then after you complete the story, there's all this other stuff to do, and they keep adding to the story. And I was like, how good's the story? And he goes, oh, it's a great story. And so my problem with most multiplayer games is they're very light on story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and then most of your big, mega, massive, expansive games are also really light on story. Because the point is to get you into the world, not necessarily to get you to the end of the story, right?
Yeah, I mean they're wanting to have that hook to keep you engaged in the world.
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
that was my wife double checking to make sure all the audio was coming through.
all good.
uh, she didn't do the thing that you and I did where we turned it down all the way. No, shout out to her by the way. She sacrifices her Wednesday nights with me so I can do this, and that can't be understated. Um, when this starts making money, she'll be grateful she sacrifices her Wednesday nights. But um, so that's my big hang up is I don't care how expansive the world is. I don't care how amazing even the graphics are. If you don't give me story or a reason to care about the world I'm in, it it really falls flat. That's why I spent 40 hours in Valhalla and I couldn't keep going. I stopped caring about the settlement. I stopped. It just kept stringing me along to the next little thing and the next little thing and the next little thing.
And see,
And
that's kind of where I'm at, like with multiplayer. So I got 300 hours in Valhalla, and I have thousands of hours in Call of Duty throughout the years, if each one. So it's not so much that there's a story to it. The thing that hooks me with those multiplayer games, those online games, all that, is the ability to unlock, the ability to progress and increase your level. There's some type of dopamine effect to that. So when I get a battle pass, I'm pushing for that next item in the battle pass. I'm pushing to see where my friends are, where they're playing, what level they are, what level they are. And I push to be better than them or to finish quicker on the battle pass than them or have a higher KD, which KD doesn't matter really anymore. But it's just to be better than your friends and your squad. But it's more of playing when I'm just by myself. It's to hit that next battle pass point. It's to hit that next level. It's to hit that next prestige. In Valhalla, it was all about, well, what gear am I going to get at this next village? What power am I going to get? What skill tree unlock am I going to get? It's basically you grind to unlock the next thing. So kind of like in Diablo 4, you're grinding for that next period or that next thing of loot, even though that's not really a multiplayer. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because you can play with your friends, you can go run dungeons and whatnot. But it's just grinding for that gear. It's that endless grind. It's that grind that really means something. You can't, like Diablo 4, you grind and grind and grind, and maybe you got 6 hours into it, and you've gotten one better piece of gear or better piece of loot. That's kind of a bad outcome for me. I want something that I can play like Call of Duty. I can play 5 matches, and I'm going up a level. I'm going up a battle pass tier. That's rewarding to me. That's that's a doable grind. But when you have something that takes you 6 hours to get one piece of item that's better than your old piece of item, then that's bad to me. So that's what keeps me hooked in the multiplayer games, whether it be Call of Duty, whether it be Diablo 4, um, Fortnite. Let's use that Fortnite. I haven't played Fortnite in a long while. Um, yeah, that's really about all the multiplayer games I really do play to, in recent years. Are you there?
Oh, sorry, that was my bad.
I'm
Um,
good.
there's an echo on your end, but only while you're talking. Like there's no echo from me or anything, but it's like it's picking up an echo while you're talking. It's really weird. And it just started like with your last set of talking.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm gonna turn off my phone and see if it's going through that. Oh,
it
you
might
know
be,
what it is?
but it wasn't there right now.
You know what it is? I didn't turn my monitor volume off.
Oh.
So let's see if that's better.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so that's just my biggest hang up with games like this. It's my biggest frustration is that we constantly have if we constantly have these games that are just massive and all this, but there's no point to them, there's no story to them, like there's nothing. So I connect with my characters. And even in games that I have 300, 400 hours in, like Outriders, I connected with my characters within that story. Like, especially towards the end when they actually, like, the writing in that game actually improved towards the end. It was really crappy starting out. Like, it's like that dude who, I don't know if you ever played D&D, but when you're building a D&D campaign, there are some DMs, and this is the probably DM I'll be, that like you start out in like the shakiest of scenarios, the shakiest of plot holes, but somehow all four party members have to make it to this one spot, and it might have plot holes everywhere, but that's okay. That's how and then towards the end, the story is just fantastic. That's how this was with Outriders. Like the beginning was like, oh, I'm on a planet. Okay, cool. And now I have this power. Interesting. All right, but how did I? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got it. You got it. Okay, cool. And like, your character doesn't question much of nothing early on, and I'm like, dude, there's so many plot holes in this. But I still connected with a lot of the characters towards the end of the game. And so when I played the multiplayer, I was already invested in the game, invested in the story, invested in all that, and it really drove me to keep playing, especially since I had a couple friends that played it as well. And I don't know, man, these games that expect you to spend 3, 4, 5, 600 hours in them, even more than that. Heck, Church had like 13,000 hours in Destiny, or not Division.
Division, yeah,
Like, good gosh,
that's an
man.
insane amount.
Yeah, the echo's gone now, by the way.
Yeah, it was definitely my monitor.
Okay. Um, like, I just don't get it. Like, how can you spend that much time when nobody cares? Like, and that was my problem with The Last of Us Part 2 is that, oh, this is a perfect segue, actually. That's my problem with Last of Us Part 2 was that I didn't care about any of the stuff going on with Abby or anybody else. Nelson, I believe my wife over you, and she says it's gone. Oh, then what? Never mind. Um, Never mind. I believe you now,
Yep.
Nelson.
Still
Um,
got a red. We still got an echo.
yeah, but I don't hear
Yeah.
it, so it's not annoying to me, so we're okay.
Oh, let me look through my stuff.
I don't know. We may have you up too loud or whatnot, but I didn't care about half the characters in that game, and the ones I did care about, I hated towards the end, so it didn't matter anymore. Which is why I don't care what they do with the series. Nelson, I'm just kidding here. Let me turn him down. Good gosh. People's ears are sensitive. There we go. One of the open parties right now is called the Echo Party. That's just hilarious. All right.
Volume.
I got you. I'm going to try to do it on my end too. All right. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, voice chat connection, automatic. Yep. All right, everything on my end's good. So,
Yeah, I don't know what it is on my side. I can
it's
hear
fine.
myself.
Yeah, and I can't hear you echo at all. But so, do you hear it? Do y'all hear it from me or from him? Okay, cool. So we'll pass on the echoing. That's fine. Last of Us Part 2. I'm not going to spend forever on audio quality because for some reason the setup is bothersome without the I don't know. Anyways, Last of Us Part 2 remaster. Why? Um I, the game didn't look ugly. As a matter of fact, it was gorgeous. The story, eh, whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
the the gunplay, the mechanics, the stealth, the combat, the melee combat when I say that. Um what is it to remaster? Like why is it remastering? Like what are you remastering?
Do you want my God honest opinion and my God honest answer to that?
I would love it.
And you just might piss people off, but it's a cash grab. It's for people who love The Last of Us 2, who love The Last of Us. They're cashing in on the show, and Sony sees it as a good idea. Now, for people who are like me, I liked The Last of Us 2. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I respected the story that they told, even though I disagreed and I didn't really like some of the events that happened in the game. But I dealt with it, and I love the gameplay. I love the graphics. I love the atmosphere. It was a great game, and there was that certain moment that happened, 5 hours in. I'm sure I could say without making anybody mad because leaks galore happened weeks before the game ever launched. Didn't set well with me, but I spent $70 on the game, and I was going to get every bit of my 70 that I paid, and I did. It was a very long game. That will be my only setback of the entire game, is the story was way too long. It should have ended about 15 hours earlier than what it did. It did not need that last little bit. It could have ended, like I said, about 15 hours early. Just nipped it in the butt, threw that in as like a final boss mission level area, and it could have been done. But that last little area just zapped the rest of the strength in me for it.
Okay, that's interesting because the game wasn't that long anyways.
It was for me. I felt like it was a long game. But maybe it's because I stepped away from the game for about 2 days after the events with the golf club.
Yeah, I stepped away from it for like 2 years.
Oh, no, I took a 2 day hiatus from it and I came back and I was like, I'm not going to let $70 go to waste. I hate spending $70 on a game and ended up not liking the game. I will force myself to play the game if I feel like there's something there for that game. Now, if it's $70 for Redfall, No, I will. I won't play that.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I sorry guys. Um, I am if they do a full-on remake and change some of the storytelling, the way they and the manner of which they told it, I think people will buy it. Also, I'd love to see the if any analyst has been able to come up with the conversion numbers for how much The Last of Us sold. How many people bought a PS5 after The Last of Us came out because of The Last of Us? You know, the TV show? Like, because those were new audiences coming in and new audiences being exposed to this, and then people being like, "Oh shit, there's a game? Oh wait, there's a game?
I'm
Oh."
sure a decent amount.
But if that's the case, then remastering it on the PS5 sort of kind of ish makes sense. But also, let's not get it twisted and act like Naughty Dog hasn't done this already once before. They've done it twice, but when the PS3 or when the PS4 came out, they remastered the PS3 version to the PS4. And so, and I think that was also a 3 or 4 year gap. So I don't. This isn't unheard of. Companies have done this before. Nintendo, the Red Company does it or did it with almost all of their heavy hitters on the Wii U, and they've sent it over to the Switch. I didn't know for the longest time that Mario Kart 8 was originally a Wii U game. Had no idea. Uh, but so it's not unheard of for companies to do this. It just feels like instead of Naughty Dog focusing on getting us a new game, they're giving us this cannon fodder kind of to appease people. Well, I mean, of course they haven't released a brand new game yet. They did Last of Us Part 1 remake. They've done the Last of Us Part 2 remaster now. And then next year they're giving us a game. And so, I mean, they've been super busy, but they haven't. I understand that remakes and remasters take time, but they don't take time like a built from the ground up game or even the sequel. Even if you're able to reuse some of the animations and assets, those still take time.
They do take time, and like Last of Us remake, the Last of Us Part One remake, I didn't go out and buy that day one. I still don't own it. I don't have any intention of playing that game until it's either deeply discounted or it's on PS Plus. I've played the original back on it late released on PS3 at the end of its gen, and then I bought the remaster when it came out on PS4. Beat it on PS4 for the remaster, I believe, once or twice, and then I haven't touched the game since. I played Last of Us Part 2 once, played the game, didn't touch the game ever again. I've wanted to go back and do a second run through it, but I got other new games coming out. I don't want to go back and play these older titles, even though Last of Us Part 2 is not very old. But I know I got Spider-Man 2 coming up. I got, Starfield. I got all these big games that I don't want to get tied up into something like Red Dead Redemption 2 or these other bigger games like Far Cry 6 or, that's an older game, but it's a game that I haven't beat that's in my backlog. But I hate the idea of going backwards so much. I just want to keep going forwards.
And that, yeah, that's kind of my thought. Is I'm previous titles that I have nostalgia for. Like if you give me a Chrono Trigger remake or a Final Fantasy X remake, something like that, or heck, even if you, uh, I don't know, did a I know we just got it, but Shredder's Revenge, if you did like a TMNT 4 Turtles in Time, full on remake, blah blah. Like those games to me would sell well. They would interest me. They'd be things from the past that are being brought up heavily and maybe exposing a new audience to it. And so it's very much just a frustration that I have where I don't like companies milking like the same IP over and over. And I know you see the background up here, guys. You're watching. It's Final Fantasy 16. You're like, what do you mean? Square Enix milks the crap out of Final Fantasy. Yes, they do, but they also it's a new story almost every time. Well, what about Final Fantasy 7? Well, Final Fantasy 7 was a behemoth juggernaut of its time, and now they're remaking or remastering a lot of those titles. And so it falls into taking something old and making it look new. So anybody who wants to come at me with that, there's your two responses.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is a great example of a correct way to remake a old game. The same thing with Capcom and Resident Evil 2. They took an old game and they completely remade it to modernize it.
Right, exactly.
This thing with like Red Dead Redemption remaster, remake, whatever it's going to be, The Last of Us Part 1 remake, those are, to me, there is a couple things with Part 1's remake that they updated, more quality life choices and picture quality and frame rate and whatnot. But it's really just a beautification of the old game. I mean, there's not really that's changed much. When you take the tank controls of Resident Evil 2 and then you throw in the Resident Evil 4 over the shoulder mode and do the entire game like that, that's a true remake to me.
Yes, exactly. So like it feels it feels like we're I don't know, it feels almost like we're getting into Skyrim and GTA type territory. Or maybe that's just my knee-jerk reaction because I've seen both of those respective IPs be ground into the dust, and every few years they release a new sparkly version of it that looks minimally better than the version that came before. And so it's it's just irritating because I like new things. I like to play new stories. I don't necessarily want to play a story that I played 3 years ago, or actually, I'm sorry, rephrase that I just beat this year because it looked gorgeous. Like the only reason I think you should do a remake or a remaster is if it gives graphical improvements, noticeable graphical improvements, or if it reworks the story in some way. And I think that's the big difference between remake versus remaster. Is
Or how about a reimagining?
sure.
See, there's certain things out there that you can reimagine, and you can warp the story to have a different outcome. Because I think they kind of did that. I'm not for sure, but I think didn't they do that with Final Fantasy VII remake? They kind of reimagined the story because it's not like a top-down complete remake of everything that's happened. Am I correct on that?
Repeat that.
So with the Final Fantasy VII, because the remake, I haven't beat it yet. I've barely played it all, but with the story and everything that happens in the story and the characters and how it progresses throughout the games, is that a complete remake of that game or is it a reimagining of the story?
Yes.
Yes, on which? On both? Because I've not played it. I want to play it now that I've gotten Final Fantasy 16 out of my way. I want to go back and I want to play
it's
it.
a definite yes on both.
Okay, so the reimagining also works because it
It's
brings
hard to
the
explain, right? Josh
the
in the
old
chat just said
crew.
it's hard to explain.
It brings the old school crew that played the game back in whatever it was in 1997. I think that when that game originally released. And they go, oh well, I already know the whole story. No, you don't. They changed the story. They changed key aspects in the story.
Ish, kind of, yes, no, sort
But
of.
it throws you for a loop.
It does. It definitely does that. Uh, that's that's one of the hardest games to try to explain to somebody who's in that position of. So I haven't played it yet. Is it like Final Fantasy VII, like the original? Yes. Did they change some stuff? Did they change like the whole story? Yes. But you said it was like the original. Yes. It's-
See, like when I was introduced into Final Fantasy VII, I was introduced in it back in the PlayStation 1 era, and me and my buddies would get around and we would all sit there and we'd play the entire story, over and over and over, and we'd pass the controller around. So I don't really know verbatim every single event that happened in that story from start to finish.
right.
And the
And
same way what we approach like Metal Gear Solid and stuff, I would run a mission, and then the next guy he would run a mission, and we would just go that way. So I mean that's
see,
how we played games because we only had basically like one PlayStation in the entire neighborhood, and it was either I had the PlayStation or they had the PlayStation or I had the Xbox, and then they had the next gen of PlayStation or whatever.
yeah, so that's kind of. Hang on, I'm responding to somebody in chat. Josh said you pretty much need to have a minor in Kingdom Hearts. That's a fact. Uh, it's very much it, a remake, like the new Metal Gear Solid remake. You mentioned Metal Gear Solid. I'm actually excited about that game because I hated the originals. So if they change up some of the like always stealth mechanics or make the stealth more intuitive because it's on newer hardware with better mechanics, with better developing. What's up, Salty? Uh, then they said it's the exactly same as the original. Well, hopefully the controllers are updated and better.
Yeah, I mean that would be a big plus because, like I said, the tanky controls. Oof.
Yeah, right. And that's also why I didn't like Siphon Filter. I know everybody's gonna like abandon the channel after they hear this. I didn't like Siphon Filter, and I didn't like Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, I didn't like Witcher 3 because I felt like it had tanky controls.
Okay, now you're off the freaking podcast. That's
It's a great RPG. Don't get me wrong. I sit there and I watch people, but I don't have the skill set for that one. I it
it. It
it's
it's
very
it
janky.
does. Okay, okay, okay. We're just gonna breathe through that because that game is probably in my top five of best RPG stories ever. And so, I will give you the controls are a bit rough when you're trying to switch signs and doing your combat and everything, but it gets so it's one of those combat styles like what I described in Hogwarts Legacy. What's up, hero? Uh, it's one of those Hogwarts Legacy required muscle memory because you had 3 pages of 4 spells on each page. You had to cycle, you had to dash, you had a basic attack, you had all this other stuff going on, and you just had to remember, okay, I have to press all of these buttons at the same time in order to do something. And here's where my combos are, and here's where this is. And so, like, those type of combat systems get better the more you play them. And they evolve because you as a player have gotten faster with using them. Like you go fight one of the wraiths, and dear God, you better learn how to get the heck out of the way, when to hit your attack, what signs to use, what potions are the best to use, and
I think
so
I got like level 43 in Hogwarts Legacy before I had to step away from it for some other game.
I'm at level 38. I've beaten all the missions and I haven't completed the last one yet. I have to re-download it and just grind myself 2 more levels is all I have to do because then I can do my owl exam and then I'm done. But I thought I beat it and come to find out I didn't beat it. So I even posted screenshots. I'm like, yeah, beat the game, beat the game. And then there was like this whole thing that people were like, so many folks are beating Hogwarts and they're not actually beating Hogwarts. And so I was like, oh, weird. So I watched the video and I was like, oh, shit, I did that. So yeah, there's some fun stuff in there. Man, Salty, I appreciate you stopping by, man. And yeah, everybody hit that like button. Share this thing out. We got 10 folks in here. With that, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And this is the obligatory YouTube needs it to push videos, and it's the hottest topic in gaming. Let's talk about the ABK deal. God, I hate this. I kind of, it's one of those things where I hate myself for actually even mentioning it. Like, it's just, it makes me feel dirty. It's nasty.
It's a dead horse.
It is, but the
It's a
horse
dead
still
horse.
keeps kicking.
Yeah, the horse is still worth the dog food at the end of the day.
Right. I've never heard that saying, but sure.
I mean, you take a horse, you're gonna make dog food out of it. Dead horse equals dog food. So
Oh, okay, okay. Um, so they get the injunction stopped. There's no injunction. Everybody celebrates for like a day. And it's like, yeah, we're getting it. It's getting it. Amazing. Everybody points out this, hey, the CMA still has to say something. The CMA comes out and says, yeah, we'll try to work on this as fast as we can. We might have a decision by mid-August. I'm like, that's the best move ever. That's the best move ever. Like, it's cool. It's fine. Whatever. We'll get to it when we can. Oh, no, no, no. It's a priority. We promise. Like, okay, cool. And then it comes out that uh, Ubisoft and, whoa, not Ubisoft, APK and Microsoft are working on an extension so Microsoft doesn't have to pay the 3 billion, blah, blah, blah. Extension is found, and now it's delayed until October. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is going to be a full 2 years and like 4 months after it was announced. Is that right? Or a year and 4 months?
I'm not sure on Pacifics, but it sounds relatively about right. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
but
it's for some reason it's either I think it's going to be almost 2 full years since they announced that they were wanting to buy it.
and some change
January
maybe.
18th of last year. So yeah, just a few months shy. Oh heck, that's a terrible birthday gift, Josh. Um, and so now it's getting delayed again. The FTC still has to go to trial. They're going to try to get to trial on August 2nd. Like, this deal is going through, but it's going to go through, like, with every single ounce of effort, energy, fighting prowess, and legal speak that they can possibly use to get this thing to go through.
And you know who they got to thank for that? Sony.
Wait,
Sony,
whoa.
Sony's the one that pushed this. You know, you got the CMA with their ordeal. They're against the cloud aspect of it. Sony doesn't want them because they don't want to lose Call of Duty. They want to keep the Call of Duty money. That's the only thing that I could see Sony wanting out of this ordeal is they want to keep Call of Duty money. But they want to keep 100% of said Call of Duty money that they can. Now that they're going to have to pay, what is it, a 30-70% to Microsoft. They're still getting a little bit of what they want, but the FTC, I think, kind of shit the bed on the ordeal.
Bro, it was
with
it,
their
it was like
defense.
listening to Amber Heard's lawyers. It was so bad.
It was bad, and I didn't get to hear a whole lot or read a whole lot. I just go kind of off of the cast and the articles that I read and whatnot. But it sounds like they really just, like I said, they just shit the bed hard.
What we needed, and I know this is funny, and it's meant to be funny, but it's also on some level meant like to be reality. We needed somebody like Jez and King Thrash, like as the representatives for the FTC. Like, hey, listen, guys, we have spent the past year and a half telling everybody why this deal is terrible on every fundamental level. Sit down and listen. Like, because it really isn't good for gamers. Like, it's not one of these things that we can sit here and look at and go, you know what? Call of Duty being owned by Microsoft and managed by Xbox, that's a good idea. That's that's genius. They do so well with studios and with publishers that they acquire. It's a genius idea. Surely they're not going to lose two-thirds of their employees when the merger happens because Microsoft has shown that they love their employees and they treat them so well, especially in their gaming division.
Didn't Microsoft just lay off like 10,000 employees?
No, 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 no. Microsoft does so good. Most of those were from their gaming divisions. Microsoft does so good, or not most, a lot of those were from the gaming divisions, that that surely they'll take one of the most massive IPs out there and they'll make it run great. They only release complete games at launch. They only release games that have all the modes they're supposed to and at launch. And
When?
I mean look at Forza. It's coming out. It's going to have everything, right?
Besides
Halo.
drag racing and drift events.
Shh. No, 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 no. We don't talk about that
Oh,
because
you
look,
want to play this game? Okay.
we're I'm like, dude, what in the freaking
You
world?
mean like split screen for Halo Infinite?
Split screen for Halo Infinite, 60 frames per second for
You mean, yeah,
Starfield and for
60 and
Redfall.
for Redfall, yep.
I'm talking about Forza not having the two game modes that were announced with the game. Like, they do so well at managing IP that
No, they got Call of Duty in the bag. Don't worry about it. They
surely
they're they're gonna go gangbusters with that. Don't you worry. You're pretty little ahead on that.
Activision can barely manage Call of Duty.
They can
And
barely manage their culture inside their studios.
but they've been doing it for years and Vanguard was an absolute shit show.
Yeah, it was.
And so, like, if you have the company that's been doing it for years, that has dedicated hundreds upon thousands of hours of development time to getting updates out, getting new CODs out, trying to get new campaigns done, and they struggle to do it, what makes you think that you'd be able to sit there and give this to a company that has proven time and time again with IPs, Perfect Dark, Fable, with IPs that are beloved, that they shit the bed repeatedly on them. But you want to give this to them because it's good for consumers. Or because we don't find any reason why it's not good for consumers, or because we have our heads so far up our rear end we can't make a good, compelling argument to save our life. Like, it blows my mind that this is something that we are still discussing and people think it's a good idea.
I don't really know what to say to those people. Honestly, I don't. I don't know how the hell they put their damn shoes on in the morning. I don't know how they get to work. I'm guessing a post-it note on the dashboard with directions. So I don't see it. I was not ever really for this deal. I understand why they went for this deal, but I've never been really for the deal. I'm not in big favor of mass consolidation. Not. I'm looking at Xbox's studios and I'm going, well, a lot of scripts been going on here. You guys haven't been putting out quality A shit. No matter what the Twitter verse and whatever the damn chat and YouTube podcasts say, you got all these green guys out here, you got all these blue guys out here fighting back and forth. But if they could do it, they wouldn't have released Halo in the state that it was in. You do not take your flagship title that has represented your box since 2001 and send it out looking like that. You don't buy a company, a publisher the size of Bethesda, look at Redfall and go, yeah, send it out. That's good. Because either two things have happened. Either you never looked at it, or you looked at it and you didn't know what the hell you were looking at. And that is where the management side of Microsoft is coming into question. The QA, the quality testers, everything. I would be looking at that guy that tested Redfall and said, "Yep, it's got the green light. It sends out." And then
Those are
you
the
didn't
same
have
guys who reviewed Exoprimal for Xbox.
yeah. And there's Exo Primal. I mean, that's on the PlayStation too, and I've not seen anything good about that game at all.
No, but the dude got a 77 on Xbox.
Oh yeah, well they probably got pretty. Isn't it higher on the Xbox than the PlayStation right now?
It is by like 10 points,
It's probably just getting
if not
review
more.
bombed on PlayStation.
No, I mean, dude, when the game came out, like 24 hours in, folks were posting screenshots that nobody had even reviewed the game yet, and it was a
Yeah,
brand new release.
I checked Metacritic. I think like 2 days after the game launched, and I didn't see it was like TBA on Metacritic.
Dude, I haven't read any of the reviews on the Xbox One, but
I don't care enough to read any reviews on this game. It didn't interest me from the first time that they ever showed the game.
no,
Dinosaurs
yeah,
falling out of the sky? Okay, whatever.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
if
you
I
want to
want a
give me a
dinosaur
dinosaur
game,
game? Give me Dino Crisis.
I was gonna say, give me Horizon, like,
Well, yeah, but
because it has a story.
yeah, oh yeah, it has a damn good story.
So I don't know. I'm sick and tired of fanboy isms, not being able to look at a deal and go, "Hey, listen, this is probably not the best idea, and the product that you say you love is about to be degraded a lot." And you're okay with it because Team Green gets a win. Like, okay, sure, Team Green gets a win. They were able to purchase a company for $70 billion and then just destroy the IP.
Hey, well, when you've
Nice.
been drowned for years out in the middle of the ocean, you've been trying to keep your head above water. You're going to say that that life vest that they threw you was the best thing since sliced bread.
But they're not giving you a life vest. Instead, they're giving you a drink of water, and it's salt water. Like, that's what they're doing. It's literally, and now it's really funny that the narrative has shifted again from it's happening to wait until October. Like, we have gone full circle to wait until October. Just wait until.
Well, I mean, that's been the going thing for Xbox is wait until, wait until. Well, at this point, we're waiting until the next gen of Xbox, and I don't even know if that's even worth the wait because from the sounds of it, it's just going to be a dongle.
200. Josh just said it's $204 a year for Game Pass. It's a great deal.
You know what I paid for
Yeah.
PS Plus Extra? $60.
Dude, I pay 99 a year for or I paid 99 for my premium.
Hey, you got in on that deal. I got in on the deal at the beginning of the year. I let my shit expire, let it run for about a month, and I got in a deal for $60, and I got extra. That's a shit ton cheaper than any version of Game Pass that's out there.
Absolutely, but even at its full price, PlayStation Plus Premium is $120 a year. That is $10 a month. Like, you're gonna seriously look at me and say, you know what? Games with gold, or not games with gold, Game Pass
Oh
Core
God.
gives me it's only 120 a month and I still get stuff, or 120 a year. Um okay. So what are you getting? Oh, you get 25 games? Awesome. You get access to online multiplayer? Okay, cool. What else? I mean, we get discounts too in the
We
store.
get discounts and members.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We get that in our base tier for $60 a year, full price,
They're $30 on a deal.
or $30 on a deal. And like, um, hmm, what what says this is a good deal? Well, Game Pass is just a better subscription model. Um, you
What?
have
Because
more
of day and
games than
date?
us? Yeah, right. You have more games than us? No. Do you cost less than us? No. Well, we get day and date games. Oh, like what? Well, this year we've gotten Hi-Fi Rush, we got Wulong Fallen Dynasty, we got
Extra Primal,
Redfall, Exo Primal,
Redfall.
Redfall. Oh, and we're getting Starfield and an incomplete Forza. Um, what
Yeah, that sounds
else?
like $180 worth it.
That sounds no. That's Game Pass. That's 20 a month, sir. That is
Oh yeah, well
19.99 a
the
month.
19.99 a month. I thought it was 16.99 a month.
I thought Game Pass Ultimate was 19.99 a
No,
month.
it's 16.99 a month. That goes into effect, I believe, next month in August.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 15. It was 14.99, and then it went to 16.99 as of, I believe, sometime in August.
You
And
see
then,
how much I care about Game Pass.
yep, and Josh Harris said, yep, 16.99.
16.99. Yep, that's right. So here's the thing. So here's why it's actually really smart what they're doing, and they're gonna spin it this way, right? I just bear with me just for a second because I have it all laid out. It's super smart because if you want Game Pass Core just to be able to play online, that's cool. But if you want console Game Pass, that doesn't come with online. So you would have to, if you want Game Pass and the ability to play online, you have to go to Ultimate. Or you can spend, here's where the $20 came in. You can spend $21.99 a month on core and console, which is then $6 or $5 more a month than Game Pass Ultimate. So why not just get Game Pass Ultimate? So it's really smart that they're the way they're doing it because it's going to push people to just get Ultimate. Like, if you want your Game Pass games and you want to play online, just get Ultimate. Hey, if you want to play online and that's all you want to do, cool, give us $10 a month and you can do so, even though PlayStation is about $6 a month, $7 a month. And so like I'm I'm very understanding of why they're doing this. It is going to bolster the amount of people who are subbed to Game Pass Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But it's also shisty as hell. like,
It is. But you want to know, out of those four options that they have on that piece of paper or that's been going around on Twitter, that image, you want to know what the best deal is out of those whole four?
it's the PC one.
Exactly. Because that's
Yeah.
10.99. It has not changed.
No. It's 9.99, sir.
Well, yeah, 9.99. But it's $10. It has
And it
not
comes with
changed.
EA Play,
Uh-huh. The only thing that it does not come with is the online access, the multiplayer online access, because
which on
PC
PC you
doesn't
don't need it.
charge. So you are either going to pay $16.99 and play on a console and get charged same as Sony, because Sony does charge their customers to play online. Let's not bicker
No, they do.
batter over
They do.
that. They do. But you are saying, hey, you can pay $16.99 to have Game Pass, or you can pay $10 and go to PC
Yep.
and get everything that the Xbox guys are getting, but get the same game. And if you have the rig to do it, you can play the same games at even better. You want to play Redfall at 60? Here you go. You want to play Starfield at 60? Here you go.
And that's what kills me the most is that hey, if you want to play the games at high quality, play them on PC. It's $10 a month. Got you. Get it. Have a great time. If you want to play all these games and have access to the internet, you got to pay us $17 a month on console. Oh yeah, and most of the versions on console are gonna run worse than they do on PC.
Thank you,
So,
potato.
so you're paying more for less.
Well, I mean, I guess that's where Satya did get that quote then.
That's what I was just thinking. Like we are trying to do more with less.
Trying to sell me more bullshit.
And so I saw somebody posted today. What do you mean Xbox players don't have money for games? And it showed like the 45 different Series X and S controllers that
Oh,
there
I
are.
love that picture. That was great.
And I'm like, see, that's perfect. Instead, my console and my brand of choice gives me a ton of different games to choose from, more than I'll be able to ever complete. And they give me like 7 to 8 different controller designs. Cool. Who cares? Because I'm playing games. I don't care. That's another reason why I kind of stayed out of the ABK stuff on Twitter. I wasn't following it. I was mainlining Final Fantasy 16 like a dang junkie. Like I wasn't trying to do anything else. And so, what's up, Ron? And it's just frustrating, man. Like,
I
and
try my best not to engage with these guys because they just, I don't have the time for it.
and God bless Doc Dark. Lord help. He is the only one I have seen on the Xbox side pointing this crap out. Other folks are like, well, it's not that bad. Did you know that if you have your any Xbox 360 game that you have on the current service will carry over into the new service. You'll be able to play them. No big deal. They're yours. Blah blah blah. Any of your Xbox One games that you purchased through Games with Gold, through the discounts and stuff, you have to maintain an active subscription in order to be able to access those titles.
Are you shitting?
If I understood the article I read properly, then yes.
So all the games with gold that you've collected throughout the many years that they've had
On
this.
the 360, you know how you can do all the um, like you get access to those discounts and stuff.
Yeah.
So 360 games that you purchased will be available to you. They're yours to keep forever. Xbox One games that you purchased will require a subscription to maintain accessibility.
Yeah, so you're paying an access fee. So they didn't give it to you, they're not yours forever. They're charging you an access fee from what I'm understanding.
Exactly.
I'm not happy or I'm not crazy about that. I don't think that's a good idea at all.
And I'm trying to confirm, I'm trying to find the article. If I mess that up and I'm wrong, I will post that to Twitter a little bit later. But that is what I believe it was saying. The articles, depending on who you read, are all written with a slant one way or the other, and sometimes you can't read through it.
Basically, the way I take life, whether it comes to Twitter or it comes to actual real life out there where the grass actually grows, I
Uh,
take all different types of all different sides of the story. I'll take 4 or 5 different sides of the story and I'll kind of all crunch them together, and I get relatively the basic actual story that's happened.
Right. If you attest to what people say or write or broadcast is about 90% bullcrap, and you
Hmm.
pull from 10 sources and you take out everything that each one said that was kind of in conjunction with the other, you'll
Hmm.
end up with kind of a whole story by the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't watch one news channel and get the correct story every time with every single thing that's happened in the world. And it's the same thing with gaming, and it's the same thing with many things in life. So you got to watch what everybody's saying, and then just kind of throw it all in a mixing bowl and see what comes out.
Right. So I don't know, man. That whole Game Pass core crap, like it just seems one more way for them to kind of screw over people, but do it in a way because what they're gonna do, okay, is here's how they're gonna frame it. Guys, look at all the different options we're giving. We have players that just want to play online, don't care about games, they mainline one game, boom, we got Game Pass Core for them. Awesome. We're giving power to the players to choose whatever they want. Then, if you have the folks that don't really care about online but want to play all these games, you have the regular console version. Got it, guys. And if you want to do both, man, we have Ultimate right over here. We are giving you so many options now and making it so easy for people to choose exactly what they want, and they can cater their gaming experience and their Game Pass experience to themselves. I guarantee freaking you that is the marketing lines on this right now.
But they're also charging the most.
But it doesn't matter because they're doing what they said they would and giving the option back to the player. It's it's super interesting that I feel like that is exactly what they're doing. Let me read this longer message real quick. I think it'd be funny if all these people wanted ABK when Blizzard offers games on Game Pass and people don't really play it. Same for COD. To me, uh, I think more about Starfield and COD could be flawed. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Was Microsoft doesn't have the best track record with taking acquired studios and IPs and doing things with them. Like they fought so hard for Indiana Jones to be exclusive. Um, the movie just bombed. Like I don't know if nobody knew that, but the movie just Indiana Jones, the newest movie, just like tanked.
I had no interest in it.
Dude, I
I
haven't
like
cared about a
I
movie in a
I like
long
the
time.
original Indiana Jones.
I couldn't tell you the last movie that I saw in a movie theater.
Oh
Oh, yes,
God.
I can. It was Top Gun, and it was fantastic, and I went and saw it like two more times.
Oh, Maverick.
Yes.
I've yet to see that, but I love the original.
Uh, yeah, you need to go watch it. This is not a movie channel, but if it was, that would be like my Final Fantasy of movies. It
Nice.
is wonderful. It
I'll
is
definitely be putting it on my watch list.
it is everything you want in a movie, and I loved it. And so, anyways, that is that's why Game Pass really bothers me and why Microsoft bothers me because they have so many people who will try to give it positive PR when in reality if you read through the lines what they're doing is who have uh, they're forcing people over to Ultimate, and more than that they're forcing people over to PC because $7 a month, that's $100. It's roughly $100 a year. Like you could almost look at somebody and go, man, if you just get it on PC and then put that $100 towards maybe selling your graphics card and upgrading it or whatnot, then dude, you're still in the money. You're still doing great. Like you have the best of both worlds. The
You know
problem
how much
is,
memory you could buy with $100, or you know how much you can update your storage for $100 now
yeah. Hey, there's a
on
sale
on a
right
PC
now
rig.
on SSDs.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a nice SSD for under $100. I mean, I think the best one I've seen is like 75 for 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an awesome deal. When back 2 or 3 years ago, it was like 200 plus.
Yeah. And so it all makes sense with what they're trying to do. It really does. But the problem is what they're trying to do is get rid of the Xbox gamer. And they're trying to move everybody back over to PC. Let's be honest. Microsoft has always been PC focused. Always.
Oh yeah, that's the roots.
People shouldn't be shocked that when Xbox numbers are failing, Game Pass numbers are stagnant, games are coming out broken, all this other stuff, they don't go back and go, wait, we have a base. We built everything that we have on PC. If we can just slowly ease these people back over here to PC, then that's what we need to be doing. And we can still use our gaming division as Xbox. All games released by Microsoft are under Xbox's banner now, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, stuff like that, it's just shady, it's shisty, it's not fair to the gamer. But I've talked about Xbox stink long enough, and we are going to move on to the next topic, which let's talk about. You know what? We're talking about subservices. Let's go ahead and talk about PlayStation Extra and Premium lineup. Is there anything coming out in the Extra lineup that has you excited?
Oh, it's been a minute since I seen this. Let me pull it up. I have it right here.
I'll
Uh,
go ahead and.
so
Okay, go ahead.
it so the one game we that I'm going to play, and I'm going to end up buying a second controller. And my girlfriend's talked to me about this game, and she's really excited to actually play this game. Is It Takes Two. She wants to play
Yep.
that game with me. She has it on her Switch. She's played it on her Switch with her friend at work. And when I said, hey, it's going to be in PlayStation Plus in July, she's like, okay, so what color controller are we going to buy? Because I only have one PlayStation controller, and that's the game that she wants to play. When I'm not playing Diablo 4, that's the game I'm going to be playing.
Yeah, my wife and I are actually excited to try that, and my wife is not a gamer at all, and so it's going to be really fun to be able to play that. Um, but there's that one. There is, and then the other one that I'm super excited about is the Ascent.
I've dabbled with that one.
I have not played it at all, but there's like four people on my friends list who have played it. So I will be hitting those four people up once I beat Final Fantasy 16 to do some multiplayer because that it looks really fun. It looks like a good top-down little shooter. So I like that. And then we got Twisted Metal 1 and 2. And that's fantastic. Those are probably some of the best ads I've seen in PlayStation Classic or PlayStation Premium in a while.
Those would be fun little nostalgia rides. I mean, they sound kind of, or they kind of look like they probably be pretty easily platinums.
Yeah, do they have trophy support?
They have trophy support.
Oh, that's
I,
cool.
I watched a video today on that. They do have trophy support.
That's awesome. So like we're getting these titles. What's up, Toolman? Oh, he said, "Hey, Salty." I guess Salty's back. What's up, Salty? I had to plug my phone in, so I can't really see who's on here. Um, but like we're this month is it doesn't have that amazing banger flagship title, but there's so many good titles in here that I have been wanting to play, but I haven't gotten around to it, and I probably wouldn't spend money to play them. And so I'm really excited about it because the Ascent, I'm telling you, dude, that game had me like so super interested. I don't know why I didn't get it, but like I'm glad that I'll be able to play it. And then if I like it, I'm gonna buy it.
But that's how these subsystems are supposed to work. They're
No,
supposed
go
no,
ahead.
they're supposed to work Because you're not supposed to be putting your first party day and date right off the bat. Sony's got the best way of doing a subservice because they're not going to put their first party games day and date. They're going to do what a certain content creator describes as the waterfall effect. And I
Yep.
believe that that is the best out of everything. I believe if Redfall had followed the same thing, it probably still would have failed because Redfall shit. Uh, well, I guess that's not really a good thing because a lot of shit out of Microsoft is shit from day one. So, but I believe PlayStation does have the better aspect when it comes to the subservice because they're not going to put their stuff day and date. They're going to make the money up front and then go, okay, well, sales are starting to slow down a little bit too much that we care for. Hey, how close are we on that PC port? Oh, that close? Okay, let's throw this on PS Plus. We'll let it sit there for a month or two, and then we're going to announce a PC port. And they just
Yeah.
keep grabbing money. They keep grabbing money, whether it's from this group or this group or this group.
And then all of a sudden, by the end of the year, you're at Black Friday. Hey, let's go. How are sales on that? Oh, they're pretty stagnant, huh? Hey, let's go ahead and make it one of the $35 games this year, or one of the $30 games this year.
Yep.
And then you catch it again. Uh, or it's even like Live Alive, which I'm really trying hard not to pull the trigger on tonight because it's only $35. It's on sale right now, and I really want to play it. And so it's sorry, I'm reading the chats as they pop up. It's it's yeah. I don't know, but it's on sale right now, and it's the Red Team's version or Square Enix's version of a waterfall effect. They release it on Switch, get all the money from Switch that they can, builds up a ton of hype because of how many people loved the game, and now it's coming everywhere else. After it releases, everybody who's going to buy it day one on those other systems buys it. A few months after that, the big summer sale happens. Boom, we're going to put it on sale for $35. We're already money ahead in this thing. So even if we only make $21 off of every game sold, that's still 21 more dollars. Heck yeah. We're constantly generating revenue off of the title. And so it makes sense with the way they're using it. And the yeah, so Josh Ayers just said there's a lot of RPGs on sale right now, and there are. I think Trails of Cold Steel 3 is on sale too, and I need them to put 1 and 2 on sale.
Well, I
But
mean, nonetheless, the day and date is the biggest mistake when it comes to the Game Pass subservice, in my opinion. It was a huge mistake.
it
They
is.
shot themselves in the foot. The Game Pass is a great value, but when you dump all your flagships day and date, and you're not collecting your $70 to $100 for your holy shit packages, it's not a good deal.
They need to rip the band-aid off and go, "Hey guys,
Yeah, we
we
screwed
were
up.
wrong. We can't do this."
Yep, but that would be bending the knee back towards Sony.
Well, but they can't think of it that way. They
All you,
literally can't. They have to be able to look at their fan base and go, "Guys, hey, we tried. This is not going to work. Y'all have seen the numbers. You understand that. We have to pull it. Starfield or Forza or Hellblade, whichever game they want to end it on, this will be the last day and date release. Everything else going forward will be purchased, blah,
I
blah,
hope
blah."
they do, but I do not see it.
Oh, God, no. No, no,
I
no.
don't see it. They're too proudful. They got way too much pride for that. Like, oh yeah, our way is the only way.
They're going to live and die on Game Pass. That's
Oh
what's going
yeah.
to happen. Uh, Hero Down Under. Solstice is a great game. Um, the camera controls are a bit wonky, uh, and the character is the camera is too close up on the character in combat. Outside of that, It's a really fun game for the little bit of time I put into it. Sorry, somebody asked a question about certain games.
Oh, good.
Um,
I've not really looked at chat too much.
it's actually pretty lively tonight. We have
I've
several
seen that.
people in there.
It's been hard for me to catch up, but I definitely am going to catch up on chat tomorrow.
So, we have a good month this month. People are kind of bashing it because there's not a big banger title, but there's so many mid-level titles, not even mid-level. That makes them sound like double A games. But there's so many not blockbuster titles on there that there is literally something for everybody this month. And there were folks talking about SnowRunner as a game that they were like, "Yes, I can't wait to play that." Like, what? Nobody says that. Like, who, who says that?
I bought Snow Runner,
Of course you
you
did.
know,
You
a
have Game
year and a
Pass. You
half
bought.
ago. Oh, uh, oh, you dropped out for a second. Are you there? Hello.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay. Oh, good.
I accidentally. So I use the wired connection into the controller because it gives clearer audio than using the Bluetooth connection, and I accidentally ripped the cord out of the controller.
All good.
My bad.
I'm using the
We got a
3D
lot of
pulls,
good
so
games.
they're
We
not
got a
the
lot of
best
good
things.
games coming up. We have Sea of Stars. You got Starfield. You got Helldivers. You got Spider-Man. Uh, you have oh shoot. Oh, it was just on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it now. Anyways, oh, Assassin's Creed Mirage. And so you have a ton of really good games coming out. One of them, I don't know if it's going to be good. The others, I have no doubt in my mind. And with that, though, AC Mirage looks like it's going to be good. I'm excited to play it. It's going to be a shorter game. It's going to be more my speed. But news came out last week that this might be Ubisoft's, or Assassin's Creed Red might be Ubisoft's last Assassin's Creed title. And I don't know. I talked about this, and you and I talked about this a little bit on Doomsayer's show, but I'm very. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of conflicted about this. And so, what are your thoughts on this? Like, expand a little bit more about what you were talking about on Doomsayers, and like, what's your thought on this?
If it's going to go back to the feudal Japan era, and it's going to be all about the samurais and whatnot, I'm just going to have to see more on Assassin's Creed Red. It sounds like a good idea, but it's an idea that it has been thought about in the Assassin's Creed world for years and years and years. I think even before Origins. It's like, well, what if we took Assassin's Creed and we threw it in, old, samurai times of Japan? And that's what everybody thought, like right after, like, I think it was like Black Flag, is everybody's like, well, what if we did a Japan setting with Assassin's Creed? Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. I think with Ghost of Tsushima, it's a little too late. I'm not saying it's done and over, because Assassin's Creed could still pull it out, but it's going to be a very tough mountain to climb because Ghost of Tsushima came out and they nailed everything that was similar to Assassin's Creed, but they took very bits and parts of Assassin's Creed and made it so much better.
Some of my very favorite that is some of the best
Swordsplay,
time.
oh my god.
I was gonna say time that I've spent on a game. Like I look back at the 97 hours I think I put into that title, and I do not regret a single moment of it.
No, and I keep wanting to go back to that game and do a second playthrough, and I want to hit the plat because that if I go back and I hit that game, I will go back and I will go for the plat. It will be my second plat, but I know there's a hang up there that it takes. I think it was like 40 hours in Legends to be able to hit the plat.
I'll play Legends with you. I freaking love Legends.
I've not played a single ounce of Legends, but
Oh
it
my god,
looks
it's so
fun.
fun. I wish they would have done like its own spin-off or something because it was so good.
And they may. I mean, that could be one of these quote unquote 12 live service games that Sony's talking about, but we shall see.
Oh man, Legends. So Legends gives you like a grappling hook,
Uh huh.
and you can like swing off of things. You can do your different stances. You have like a whole gear loot system, almost like a loot-based gear system. Uh, it was really well thought out. It sucks that it was just an add-on and then they didn't support it further
But it was a
because
cool ass add on. It was
it
very cool.
was.
And it was out of nowhere. That was the greatest thing. It was completely out of left field. Nobody seen this thing coming.
Dude, and funny enough, it has its own little story. It's it's like I know my type. That's the problem. But so do you think Assassin's Creed Red, Project Red or whatever they're going to call it is going to be the last Assassin's Creed or do you think it should be?
I don't know. I mean, to say that is the last Assassin's Creed, I don't believe so because Assassin's Creed is a franchise. But do I think it's going to be the last of the full open world series like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla is? It could be. I I just hope that they don't fill it with a bunch of filler like they did with Valhalla and Odyssey. Origins had a decent amount of filler, a lot of fluff here and there, but nowhere in the same vicinity as Odyssey and Valhalla. Valhalla was really bad about it, and
Yeah,
that's coming from a guy that did put a good chunk of hours in Valhalla. But I loved the setting in Valhalla. I liked the Viking thing. There was not very many games back then or since then that has really cracked into the Viking era. And that's back when the show Vikings was really big. And I was just got done watching that. And I was like, oh, well, here's this Viking game. Started playing this. And like I said, it was only, I think I got maybe 6 hours worth of the Animus and the actual Assassin's Creed story of it. So it was more of like, hey, do you want to play this Viking game? Yeah. Okay. We're going to play this Viking game. Oh, well, we're going to throw Assassin's Creed on the title just to make it sell better. Okay, I get that. And they kind of just dumped the Assassin's Creed on top of this game is what it felt like to me.
so what sucks for me is that I really loved Origins. I thought the map size was perfect. It was it was almost too big, but they did a great job of making it feel small. And you got the pyramids that you could excuse me. You got the pyramids that you could go through and they were like Tomb Raider style segments. You
Mm-hmm.
had the hunts of sorts, the folks who were like hunting you down, the elites that you could fight.
Yeah.
Like you had that, you had collectibles, you had lore, you had Layla in the original or in the real world working in tandem with Bayak to like figure everything out and piece everything together and then you realize, oh crud, I, just in case nobody has seen it, there's a lot of stuff related to like the first assassins and the story of kind of the mother of the assassin. Like there's so much good shit in that game related to the real world lore. The the real world in-game lore of the assassins. Yeah, the hidden ones. Thank you. And so like there's a lot that they did with that game that made me have faith in the series again. And I was like, dude, we're getting back. They just, they gender swapped Desmond. No big deal. They killed him off, brought in a female now. Great. She's the new main character. No big, this is fan freaking tastic. And then we got Odyssey, which was terrible, in my opinion. The characters were so flat. I even tried to play as the female because everyone was like, dude, the female's character line, Cassandra's character or storyline is so good. It's so well done. The voice acting is much better than the guys. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all listening to? Like, what about this doesn't sound just janky as hell? And then it was this big open world, and then you come out with Valhalla, and it's not even Assassin's Creed anymore. Like, they could have called Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Odyssey, and they could have called Valhalla, Valhalla, and you didn't even have to put a freaking, uh, you didn't have to put Assassin's Creed on it. And Josh just said, I'm so hyped for the next game. Valhalla ended so well. I will agree. I have watched the end of Valhalla,
It's a
and
good end. It's a good end.
it's a good end for fans of the series.
It was
The
just a good end for the game entirely for me.
right. The problem is that you had to go through the entire game to get there. like
Yeah. I mean,
like
I played it up to the point where I got Thor's hammer.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was a fun little toy to play with that on the end game.
I think I played it up to the point where I think I built my third. No, I was on my third tier of my settlement. So like I had
Yeah.
built everything once, built everything twice, and I was building everything on that third final time. And at that point I was just done. I was like I can't do this anymore. There's other games that I want to play. This game doesn't make me want to do anything except go to bed. So I was just out on it. So here's my thought. Back to the question, I think it doesn't need to necessarily end. I think they need to take a massive break. I think Assassin's Creed and Far Cry need a break.
Yeah. Yep.
Far Cry 5 was great. Far Cry 4 was mid. Far Cry Primal was meh. And Far Cry 6 was just awful. Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 5 were really good games. The story
Far
in
Cry
5
3 was
is.
the best.
Oh, Far Cry 3, I beat that game, and I hate shooters. Like,
I
it was
loved every single
really
second of
good.
3. I loved it. And
It
I've
was so
not
good.
stumbled across a Far Cry since that's been able to hold a candle to it.
5 was
Yeah,
close.
the 5 was decent. Yeah, it was pretty good. 6, I don't know what it is about that game because it has the same setting as 3 as far as, the tropical beach and the jungles and all this and you're kind of just out there. But 6 just did not hook me.
Now, I played a couple hours of 6 on a free weekend they gave,
Didn't they
and
hand that out on PS Plus? Was it last month or the month before?
I don't know. Maybe.
I thought they put that out there in the.
If they did, it's in my library, and I'll play it whenever.
It's not a bad game. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about carrying around an explosive backpack on your back that just kind of takes me completely out of the element. I'm not walking around like a one-man army with a damn bazooka backpack. It just there's something weird about that.
The so I think they just need to take a break. They need to give these franchises a breather. They need to give them a moment of rest. Let people not get let people like have a fond memory of Assassin's Creed, right? Like, let it be something that when we hear it's coming out, I think they take a 2 year break without saying a word about Assassin's Creed or Far Cry. And then they come out and say, hey, it'll be next year. So you get 3 years between a game. I think that gives them time to really focus and hammer down. I'd even be okay with 5 years. Like, make the next Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, make them for the next generation. Like, just stop. Focus on your other stuff. Focus on X Defiant because you have lots of people who are interested in that. And see if you can make yourself profitable again before you have to sell to some other company. But that's what I think is going to happen with Ubisoft and with their titles on there. Um, I don't have my phone in front of me because, like I said, it's charging. But the I'm trying to remember the last topic. Uh-oh.
Let me look here.
I'm gonna get
You
up and try
send
to
it to
grab my
me.
phone.
Here we go. So, we talked about The Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
We did.
We talked
The
about PS Plus and Premium.
the last topic is the showcase.
Yes. Oh yes,
Oh
my favorite. My
God!
favorite.
Holy crap! Okay,
So,
this would
yeah.
not be a gaming show if we didn't discuss the newest, latest, and greatest rumors before we head out of here. So now, can y'all still hear me? Am I still here?
I can still hear
Okay,
you.
cool. Um, now that the ABK deal is done and finished, and Sony signed it, and it's done, it's over. Now, Sony's going to come out and show a full force, massive display of power and greatness beyond the likes of which we have ever seen, ending with the PlayStation 5 Slim model with the detachable disc drive and the Q and the Q Lite and all this other stuff. And we're going to see Spider-Man and we're going to see Naughty Dog's project and what Sony Santa Monica's working on, and they're going to come out with all their heavy hitters, and it's happening in August. Why? Because of sources. Like, damn it, do we have to go through this shit every
Yep.
single time?
Yep, we do.
Like,
I hope. I really do. I really hope that there's going to be a second showcase, but I am not holding my breath on it.
all I know is we begged and pleaded for a showcase. They gave
And
us
what did we
one,
get?
and it looked like dog shit. So,
Compared to all the other showcases that happened within that month, because Sony's was what, about 2 weeks before the actual what the E3 event would have been,
correct, correct.
and then you had hits and misses after the actual Keighley event, and you had the Xbox event, and then you had the Ubisoft event and all that stuff, and then you had a little hit and misses here and there. So it was about a month long ordeal.
Dude,
Yeah.
I disagreed with damn near everybody on Doom's show. That Xbox showcase was total time of 2 hours, and it was over 60% Starfield. Because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
ran 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I'm sorry, of Starfield in the Xbox showcase. So
Was
even
it
that,
was it really 20 minutes?
yeah, because they finished it out with like 15 minutes at the end, and they did, or 10 minutes at the end. They did a 5 minute blurb in the middle, and then they went into Starfield Direct. So, like, what did you show me?
They showed you Sinua crawling through a cave
And grunting.
and grunting like she was, yeah, we're not even going to go there, but yeah, I was like, if I had my eyes closed, I'm picturing something completely different.
Dude, go watch it again. They let off with Ubisoft's. I think they let off with Outlaws,
Outlaws looks stupid amazing. I'm really
and the
looking forward
show
to that one.
went downhill from there. like, or did they leave with Fable?
They started with Fable.
Okay, okay.
They started with Fable, and then somewhere in the mix they went into Outlaws, and then they went into uh, this, that, and the other. But my main focus on that entire show, that whole 2 hours, was Starfield. But I was interested to see what was happening. I've not played the first Zenua. I need to go back and I need to play that. But then there's that part where I don't really go back and play old games. I heard it's amazing. I heard the story is awesome. I heard it's a mind trip. I heard it's got a lot of mental in it, and that sounds great. But will I go back? Maybe, but most likely not. Will
If you
I?
want to play a really good psychological thriller, just go play Control.
Oh, I actually own Control. I got it through, I think, PS Plus, actually.
Probably it was on there last year, I think.
Yeah, I believe I picked it up. I need to go out and I need to play that. I think I played maybe about 30 minutes of it,
Oh no,
and
dude, you got it. The
it
story
looks
will
like a good
absolutely
game.
hook you after about 45 minutes. It's nuts. And then the ending just left me sitting on my couch, just sitting. I, I
Oh, so
didn't even move.
it did the Death Stranding effect to you.
Dude, I did not move. I kid you not. And then I played it again and beat it again with all the mods and everything on because I wanted to just really dive into the story. And I beat it with all the mods on and everything. And I still sat there at the end going, okay, I'm still just as confused now as when I was the first damn time I played this game.
Okay, did you ever play a game? I think I've asked you this before. Did you ever play a game that was called a PsyOps, a Mindgate conspiracy?
PsyOps, that was a shooter where you could control, you had special powers.
Yeah, it was like a kind of a
Yes.
over the shoulder, and you
Yeah.
had, yeah.
Hell yeah, I
Is
played
it
that game.
anything like that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna love it then.
Yes. Except in this one, you can fly.
Sweet. Because I absolutely love PsyOps, the Mindgate conspiracy. That was one of my favorite, I think, PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 games.
What I loved is in PsyOps, it had so many like exploding backgrounds and interactive environments because you could
Oh,
like throw things at people and stuff. And
you had that
so,
one dude, that main boss, like right at the beginning of the game, that looked like a fucking Kingpin. In a big purple suit and everything. You're throwing like big trains at him.
Josh, I really wish you weren't in freaking Australia. I'd have you on the show in a heartbeat. So Josh is one of the guys that listens to us at work, and he's in a way different time zone than we are, and so it just would never work to get him on here. But he's like a freaking encyclopedia. Like we'll be talking about a topic, and if we're off on a date or something like that, he's just right there. No, that was in 2019 in January. It was on the third hour of the day, the 30 minutes of the third hour, and that's when they signed it here. And then this dude signed it first, then the next. Like he just, it's like a freaking computer in here.
And I would
Uh,
never be that good at all.
bro, I am so not that good, and I don't pretend to be. Guys, the uh, the showcase, whether it happens or not, I don't really care. I brought it up because there's a few things that get hits, and the showcase happens to be one of them. The Activision Blizzard deal is another. Uh, and so Josh just said, I don't try to remember any of it. Well, that's great. I try to remember it and I can't. So that's
If the
fantastic.
show if the showcase is gonna happen, oof, it better be good.
If the
That's all I gotta
showcase
say.
is going to happen, it needs to happen in September. It needs to
They
happen.
better make it good, because there's no point in coming out here and having a another round of the showcase that they had earlier this summer.
What's going to be really funny is right after Starfield releases, we're either going to get a showcase or we're going to get a state of play for Spider-Man. That's,
What if they did it the same week as Starfield?
I hope they do. I so hope they do.
I still wish that Spider-Man 2 would have launched 11/11, just to. Or no, that was
Man,
God of War. Never mind, that was God of War.
yeah.
I wish that would have done the 11/11 date, just to kind of put a little stick to them. But I understand why they're not. They're playing nice, and all
So
that junk.
here's the thing. So Josh is mentioning the Q Lite and how they have to get it announced and have to do a showcase or some sort of announcement to be able to bring in some new hardware. Okay, so we all remember when it came out that they were doing a Q Lite. It was Tom Henderson, I think,
Hmm.
leaked that out that they were doing the Q Lite, and then Jim Ryan comes out and says it's called the Project Q. Blah blah blah. I'm wondering, and this is just speculation. Now we got like 10 minutes left. Just speculation. What if there's a two SKU approach to their handheld? What if they have a queue that is going to be for cloud gaming, for PS Plus Extra, for all of that? It's going to have a native thing in it. You're going to be able to download games to it, all that. And then you have Q Lite, where Q Lite is literally just a remote play device. One comes out, it's 199. The other comes out, it's 289, 299.
Okay, so the difference in those being is one's going to be a cloud-based system,
A
and
proper
the other
handheld.
and the other one's going to be a remote play pure Wi-Fi ordeal. With the cloud version, is that going to be strictly cloud, or would that have native capabilities?
No, no, no. The remote play version would literally just be like remote play operates now. You link it up, you turn it on, turns on your PS5, and you play your games via remote play with a Wi-Fi connection. The other one will let you play, and just in speculation, would let you like download a game. Let's say you have a game or two that you're playing on your PlayStation 5. You're going on a trip, you want to play them. You download them to the Q Lite or to the queue, you go, they're hardwired in there, they're on there. When you get back to your house, you sync up your queue with your PS5 so the save data transfers over and everything works fine. And boom, it's like you never missed a beat. I'm thinking they're going to do two SKUs. They would be, you can't say that word, they would be stupid not to do two SKUs.
It's an interesting concept, but let's just be me, or my type of gaming for a second here. I don't have time to do the gaming on the go.
I
And
don't either.
I can understand people is like, they got a newborn or whatnot, and they can't, turn on the TV and, have the sound blasting and go out and grab their controller while they got, a little 4-month old sitting on their chest, trying to take care of them. Like, oh, I want to get some Hogwarts in right now. I don't have any personal or interest in a handheld, whether it's outside of my house or inside of my house. The only reason I have a Switch is basically because of my girlfriend likes the Animal Crossing stuff. She loves that game, so that's really the only reason I have it. That and Zelda with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I play a little bit of those here and there. Um, but if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to game, like, oh, I'm in a gaming mood, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to turn on my console, my big boy, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to play console. If I want to play games on my phone, yeah, I'm going to maybe download Boom Beach or whatever the case may be. But the I don't really have time to go out and sit at a Starbucks and knock out some Hogwarts or some Final Fantasy 16. So it doesn't really do me any interest.
Sure. And I will be completely honest, that's why my price point for it is so low. Like my point of entry on it is so low, uh, because I would only use it 2 or 3 times a year. Like we're going on a little like getaway next weekend, and the kids are down, the wife's in bed, I'm trying to wind down for the night. Trials, Trials is here. He's alive. Yes, this is live, my good sir. Um, so I would love to have something like that. And because I play a lot of old school classic RPGs, those games go great on handheld.
I think those games fit better for a handheld than something, like Spider-Man or Fallout or some of these bigger AAA games, with the higher graphics. I think more of those, old RPGs, those old pixels. Like if you put all six of the first Final Fantasy 16 pixels on that,
Oh my
oh
god.
yeah, yes, that would
Right.
work perfect.
Right. So that's that's why I keep like telling folks like, "Hey, it's not terrible. It's not a bad idea because there are a ton of games, especially with PlayStation gamers, that I would you give me all the original Final Fantasies so I can finally play them. Chained Echoes, Sea of Stars, uh First Departure R, Second Story R when it comes out. Like I would be tickled to be able to play those games when I'm miles and miles away. And most of those games are really low uh, storage cost. Like they don't have a ton of storage needs.
Yeah, they're like maybe a gig and a half or whatever.
Right. I think Chained Echoes was like 12 gigs. And like that's not bad. Not when you're going to be playing it on a handheld. You give the handheld maybe a 200 gigabyte, but anyways, um chat just asked us, will you guys be trying Lies of P?
I
Um,
played the demo. I played the demo on the PlayStation, and I played the demo on the Xbox. Uh, it's a nice Souls game. It's a little different. I definitely get a lot more Bloodborne vibes off of that game than I do Dark Souls or Demon Souls or even Elden Ring. So uh, if you like the Bloodborne, I would definitely check out the demo before you buy it because the demo I think is still available on PlayStation, and I believe it's still available on Xbox as well. It's a good game. Will I buy it? Maybe, but probably gonna have to wait on a sale because I'm not that interested in it. I'm not a stu. I'm not really a massively big Souls guy. I don't enjoy sitting there getting my ass kicked and getting frustrated with it.
yeah, I was gonna ask, is there a difficulty slider in it?
I'm not sure.
If there is, I'll
I
play it.
don't
If
think
there's
there.
not, I won't.
I don't think there was one in the demo. If there's one in the real in the actual full game, we won't know until it launches. But I don't believe that there is. But don't hold me to it.
I got you. All right. Well, guys, that is the show. I am probably gonna stay up for a little bit longer after this so I can try to beat Final Fantasy 16 because I have 2 missions left and I really, really want to see how the story ends. I appreciate
Two
every
longest
single.
missions of the entire game.
Are they really?
Yep.
Oh gosh. How much time do you think I need? 3 hours? Because I don't have that.
Uh, uh yeah, about 3 hours, maybe four if you want to soak everything in.
Okay. Nope. I will just have to wait until the weekend then. Um, because I don't have the time right now. But anyways, I really appreciate everybody who stopped by. Hit that like button on the way out. Share this out. Trails, it was good seeing you. It's always a pleasure to see you. You were one of the first guys in my chats, and so I really appreciate that. Nelson, anytime you want to come on here, you know you're more than welcome. And yeah, guys, y'all have a good night. We're gonna do some outros here. And RP, promote yourself, my guy. Where can we find you?
You can mainly find me on Twitter right now at r.p.gaming88, or you can just search up rpgaming88 or rpg88 on Twitter. If you go through Thrifty, you can find me pretty easily through there.
Yeah.
On YouTube, I'm still trying to figure that stuff out with my PlayStation. It's still crap in the bed. As soon as I get that fixed, then I can start making videos, start making gameplay videos and whatnot. But I stream on Twitch every once in a while. Same handle on Twitch, RP
Um,
Gaming 88.
as you told us that last time that your PlayStation is still kind of wigging out on the YouTube thing, are you a level 4 stars member? I'm sure you
I
are.
am.
Okay, so you have priority access to PlayStation support. You might want to give them a call one day and just have them kind of walk you through kind of everything that you should be doing.
Yeah, I need to because I would definitely enjoy getting on the YouTube aspect.
When I had to change my email, that is an act of Congress because I don't have access to my old email anymore. And they just told me any day I have about 30, 45 minutes, call in there and they'll help me with it. But it is a long process. But anyways, so I was just going to throw that out there. Guys, y'all can find me on Twitter at ThriftyPSGR. Obviously, you found me here. Subscribe to the video. We have gotten a ton of subs this year. I started this year at about 75 subs, and here we are now, 150 subs later, halfway through the year. I have a video that is done. It is edited. It is going to be put up. RP, I want your girlfriend to watch it because I think she would really, if she likes farming simulators, she'll like the game that I just reviewed. And I think it might introduce her to a new style of gaming also, because it's kind of a blend of two different games, or two different genres. And so it's called Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. It's on the PlayStation Plus. You can get it. And yeah, guys, I really appreciate y'all coming in here. And y'all have a wonderful night. And as always, stay thrifty.